The New Orleans Saints have a problem that nobody wants to talk about. This is Robbie. This is the Bayou Breakdown. I see you guys blowing up the last video. Make sure to keep commenting. I'll get to them as soon as I can. Please like and subscribe. We're trying to hit that 50 subscribers threshold. We're going to try to drop some merch on day 30 of posting in a row. But let's get into this. So I genuinely think that the Saints can surprise some people in 2026, but there is one thing that's starting to concern me just a little bit. It isn't the quarterback. It's not the defense either. It's health. Health is a real big concern for me, and if this trend continues, it could derail the 2026 season before it even starts. Please excuse the way I'm talking. Feeling a little under the weather, but we still roll around here. So let's get into it. I think it starts with, when you're thinking about health, it has to start with Jordan Tyson, our number 8 overall first-round draft pick in 2026. Everybody's excited to see Jordan Tyson on the field. We want to see what he can do. We want to see how he plays. We want to see how twitchy he actually is. We want to see him up against some NFL caliber players. But here we are in late June, and we're still hearing the same kind of phrases of, they're quote-unquote ramping him up and trying to, get him ready for the season, and this is all part of the plan. That scares me a little bit. And the reason I say that is because, you can't really see how he's going to play without him being on the field. He has been on a managed workload since rookie minicamp because of his hamstring history. He has remained in, I think he's in rehab, kind of physical therapy type stuff through mandatory minicamp, and still hasn't been a full participant in team drills as far as I know. I'm not saying the Saints are doing anything wrong. Honestly, they're probably making the best move to be able to sustain, without injury, healthy Jordan Tyson. But at some point, you want to actually see your first-round pick practicing and going through a full practice. But the injury history is just rough for the Saints in total. Tyson missed some time in college with, he completely obliterated his knee, and then obviously the hamstring injuries. But the Saints drafted him knowing the durability of the hamstring and the knee were going to be in question. But availability is often more important in the NFL than the talent of the player. And that's kind of the topic of today. Is it's getting a little bit bigger than Tyson. I think we all have a little bit of that PTSD in us from injuries over years and years and years that are just derailing seasons that could be promising. But Chris Olave, he also had a limited offseason from recovering from the blood clots. We'll see how that comes. Alvin Kamara, he's been managed. I don't know so much if that's due to ramping him up and getting him into the system again, or if that's because of the contract ordeal with Alvin Kamara. But there's also been several other players that have been kind of baby-stepped through OTAs and minicamp. And maybe the Saints are just being extremely cautious. But when fans are naturally going to wonder, after they don't see a player playing for so long, and they just want to see when the whole team is going to be together, like everybody on the team. But the good news is the Saints have consistently said Tyson's workload is part of the plan. Not a setback. The expectation remains that he'll be ready for training camp, is what the notes I got here. So from Kellen Moore, pretty much every interview he has, he gets asked about that, and it's always the same thing. They're managing his workload, trying to see, where he's going to end up with that. What ultimately matters is if he's playing week 1 you know, we'll see. We'll have to figure that out if he's going to play the whole game either. But I'm not panicking yet. But by the time training camp starts, I want to stop hearing ramping up, and I want to start seeing ramping up, a full participant ramping up. I want to see it. Because if the Saints are going to surprise people in 2026, they're going to need Jordan Tyson on the field instead of the sideline. And that's just what it's going to come down to. We'll have to see. And like I said, there's multiple players that have been in this kind of predicament with the Saints. It's been multiple years that we've been in this predicament with the Saints. We finally have some depth in some places where it's going to help. But spending your first-round draft pick, we need to know, we need to see him play. If you know, I'm not saying the whole coaching staff, GM, fire Mickey Loomis, bring in chicken tenders to the stadium type of deal is off the walls. But I'm not going to say they're going to get fired if he doesn't pan out. But at some point, you have to see him try. So, and maybe he is, maybe he's just hurt still, I don't know. But usually, from my knowledge, a hamstring usually takes about 6 months, and yes, he did play through it, and so he probably tore it up pretty good. You would say probably, a year. We're talking the full college football season, the off season. He has to be doing something by training camp. If we don't see anything by training camp, it's not necessarily a failure. We got to see week 1. If he's not on the field week 1, then we kind of have to count that first round pick as a loss, which really sucks when you had a bunch of people on the board that we could have taken and done some other things with. I do like the direction. I like the risk as well. He's really good. If he can be healthy, he's a very good receiver. We will just have to see how the Saints manage it. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think the Saints are managing right? Do you think they picked the right pick at number 8 in the first round of the NFL draft? Do you think they missed? Do you think Jordan Tyson is going to play, or do you think he's still hurt and going to be injury prone and maybe not have a career at all? I would like to believe that he's going to play. I'd like to see him play in training camp, in the joint practices, preseason, regular season. I'd like to see it. I believe he's going to. My question for myself is whether I think that he's going to be playing throughout, the season. Does he get hurt? Does he tweak it? With hamstrings, it's really easily retweaked, and so it could go a multitude of ways. But like I said, I don't think it's a failure if he is just an injury-prone player that can't ever get healthy. But it sucks that that's kind of what our team is kind of built off of right now, is just kind of being injury-prone. Everyone has been injury-prone for 4 years at this point. Seasons have been derailed for it. So I'm hoping that's not the case. I want to see the Broken Brothers play again together without being so broken. But like I said, we'll just have to see. Again, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'll get to them as soon as I see them. This is Robbie. This has been the Bayou Breakdown. Peace out.